Joining me now is Baseball Hall of Famer Larry Walker. First off, Larry, how does that sound?
Hey, I've said it all night. It doesn't sound right, but I guess it's something I gotta be very happily to get used to hearing.
You know what I like about you, Larry? Everything. What were your first thoughts when you heard the announcement?
Well, when the phone rang, it was, really everything was just flowing out. Like tears came out of my eyes. So it was a very joyful moment. I didn't think was going to happen. I kind of had a certain amount of time where I was expecting the call to come through, and when it wasn't coming when I thought it was going to come, I was getting close to just heading back inside and watching the rest of the ceremony take place on TV. But the phone rang, and the area code and everything it said on my phone was absolute joy.
You mentioned that. You tweeted out earlier today that you didn't think that you were going to get again, that you were going to come up a little bit short. Why did you think that?
Well, I think like other people that they have their projections that they do, and you know, I had my projections. I went back and kind of looked at some things on how the past years have gone and taken where I was at, and with the drop-off that the ballots have with the public ballots in the last 100 or so ballots, I thought I was going to come just short. 73.3 was my guess, so I was off by 3.3. Imagine that.
Yeah, you know what? I'm glad your math was off there. This was your 10th year, last year on the ballot. Why do you think it took so long for you to actually get in?
Boy, haven't been asked that one, and I don't even know the answer. You know, I don't know if I'll have an answer other than I'm in. You know, if it was on the first year, it was on the last year. It happened, and I guess that's the positive I'm gonna build on.
Absolutely, because you are now only the second Canadian in the Baseball Hall of Fame, along with the great Ferguson Jenkins. Like, only the second. What does that mean to you?
Oh, that's where the smile starts going from ear to ear, knowing that I get to join Fergie and represent Canada as the first position player ever to be in the Hall of Fame in Cooperstown. It's boy, that one hits home. You know, it's hard to believe where it all started and where it began, and this is where it's ended up to represent Canada as the first position player. I'm thrilled beyond measures, and I'm proud for all of Canada.
Well, we've got a wonderful story. Justin Morneau, he speaks about the impact that you had on him. Now that you're a Hall of Famer, nobody walks into the Hall by themselves. How does a kid go from Maple Ridge, BC to Cooperstown?
Well, it's years of playing and practice and watching and listening and learning and never giving up, I guess. You know, I was horrible. I was horrible in the minor leagues when I first started. I was no good. I hit 220 or something, a couple of home runs, and but there's those things called dreams that you eventually see. I didn't see it when I first started playing, and then I started seeing them. So you fight for those dreams to try to make them happen and come true. And with all the work and belief that coaches, managers, teams, organizations had in me, I was able to make that happen. And I'm thankful for that, for my work, and I'm thankful for everybody along the line that pushed me and made me better along the way.
Yeah, I've never seen anybody become successful that didn't work exceptionally hard. We call it Western work ethic. I'm from Saskatchewan. It's Canadian tenacity. How much of a part was that?
Well, like I say, it's a grind. It's a grind because, like I say, we're so far behind, especially back when I first started. I was so far behind where the American kids were. So it makes you work for it harder, you know, knowing that you got a chance to do something that nobody else has done. And there's a lot of other players that are coming up behind me, and ones that are still playing that are going to probably be in this same situation in future years.
Mike Soroka, by the way, tweeted out he couldn't be happier that you are now into the Hall. And what a year this guy had. I mean, it just seems like every year, it used to be a rarity that you'd get a Canadian in the bigs, but now, you know, we're everywhere.
Yeah, that's something I said quite a few years back. You know, you'd barely be able to put together a Major League Baseball team with Canadian players. You can now put together an absolute all-star team with Canadian players, and there's so much pride involved for everybody that we're getting recognized and playing at a level that is higher than anything in the world. So it's a proud time for Canada.
All right, one final quick question: who was the first person you called?
Mom and Dad.
Yeah.
I called Mom first, then called Dad. Yeah, that was those were the first two.
Hey, Larry, couldn't be happier for you. Congratulations. It's a remarkable career that now gets capped off with a trip to Cooperstown. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. I'm honored. Thank you very much.